Oh, oh my god. Oh my god. We are assholes. We are assholes. You're an asshole. Yeah, I'm an asshole. We're assholes. All us supervillains. We are assholes.
Oh, oh my God! Get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of yourself. Just, do you want me to slap you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Just one more time for safety. Oh, that was really hard. Ouch. Okay, thanks for snapping me out of it.
It is my pleasure. Well, it's not. It's not a pleasure to slap you. No. That's some kind of SM kind of thing. I mean, it was a pleasure to get you out of your temporary fall into madness.
Yes, that's what you meant. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Gravitalk, where I, Franklin D. Hall, reviews movies and shows you what it's like to be a supervillain. But, on today's movie, how do I put this? Today's movie kind of made me rethink my life.
Ah, yes. It is unfortunate that you have been comprehended by this movie. I don't understand. I've seen your previous episodes, your previous entries into these videos, and what I've seen is a man who is proud of what he is. A supervillain. You were proud of being a supervillain. But for some reason, this movie has has made you has made you not believe in that anymore. You are no longer proud of being a supervillain. And I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, for all of those who are wondering who that is talking to me, that's my good friend Ben Chudnovsky.
Bloodnovsky. Blood.
Sorry, I try to be all formal and say the person's real name first, and then their supervillain name second.
Oh, sorry. Force of habit.
Yes, my good friend Bloodnovsky.
Better.
What did you say?
I said better now that you have called me by my supervillain name.
Yes. The old Bloodnovsky over here, he's known for being in the Green Hornet movie, which is not considered a really that good, movie. But what people praised about the movie was its villain, and the villain was you, good sir.
Yes, they praised me. Sure, I did not get enough, not that much praise, but more than the movie.
Yes. And he's right. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that I am very, very proud of being a super villain. Very, very proud. But this movie, man, it made me open my eyes.
Oh dear, and what did you see when you opened those metaphorical eyes?
I don't know. It's just that all of a sudden, like at first when I saw this movie, I was pumped to tear the hell out of it, to tear it apart, because because uh the previous one of the previous films I did was Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And in that review, I expressed my opinions, my strong opinions, that superhero films are nothing more than stupid superhero propaganda designed to make people hate supervillains. And I hated that. And while yes, this movie did make me hate supervillains, it also wait a minute. That's what I'm saying. It did make me hurt supervillains. Whereas all the other superhero movies failed, for some reason this movie affected me. It made me hate being a supervillain.
Now, haven't you had this before?
Yeah, I guess during the Dark Knight I did kind of almost change, but it's just something about something about this superhero movie that the villains were more sympathetic than usual when they usually are depicted in the films. They seemed so sympathetic, and I was like, wow, they make me care for these villains. I mean, I care for villains already, but I wouldn't expect a superhero propaganda film to do that. And I don't know. And, and then when they show them doing really bad things, by the way, there's something in this movie that happens that's really, someone does a really bad thing. And I thought, oh my god, I'm a monster. If they're monsters and they're supervillains, then I'm a monster. Oh my god.
Yes. Well, you see, that is why I invited myself here today.
Yes. If you remember, during the Captain America review, I was wondering who I should get to the Spider-Man review so I could tear the hell out of that movie apart with with someone who's an expert on supervillains. And then lo and behold, out of nowhere, sprung up my good friend Bloodnofsky.
Yes, I appeared. That is not my power. I do not have powers.
Yes, this is what I respect about you. You don't have powers, and yet you still want to be feared as a supervillain.
Yes, I love being a supervillain. I enjoy it. And I love it so much that I died a supervillain.
Yes, in your movie, not in real life, which is discontinuity, apparently. Anyway, yeah. eh, the, you see, I guess I am glad you're here because you are you are a brick wall when it comes to superhero movies. You watch them, and you know, and it doesn't affect you. That's how it was for me until I saw this movie. I don't know what to think now. I'm so confused.
Let's get through this together. How about this? We will review the movie as planned, and I will explain to you why being a supervillain is good for you and me. Why being a supervillain is not as bad as this movie suggests.
Yes, let's do that. I don't know. I want to review it, but it's just so hard.
No. We have to. It is your job. Sure, you are not being paid a cent for this. Neither am I. But we need to review this movie if you want to learn what it means to be a supervillain again.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do this thing then. Alright, before we do, I should let the viewers know how I felt before we watched the movie, in contrast to how I feel now. Here is a pre-recording of myself right before seeing the movie. Alright, it's about to play right now. Oh man, I can't wait to see the movie. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to rip the hell out of it. I'm gonna shit all over it. Stupid superhero propaganda film. Fuck that. It's gonna show supervillains under a bad light again. Ooh, I'm a supervillain. I'm evil and mindless. Hate me. Hate me. Screw that. Rip this movie a new asshole. Yeah, the superhero movies will never make me hate supervillains. Never. They're gonna make me never care for the superhero. Never. Alright, I'm gonna get my popcorn first. Well, the good thing is, I like the popcorn. The bad thing is, I don't know what to think anymore. This movie. Oh, by the way, that was the end of the recording.
Alright, well, let's just skip the initial thoughts like you usually do, and cut to the chase.
Yeah, let's cut to the chase. So, first we see young Peter Parker. No, wait, we see Richard Parker.
You mean the lion? The tiger?
Yes, the tiger. We see Richard Parker, the tiger, on the internet, and he's trying to get something to upload, and we don't know what it is. And he's all scared, like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! And meanwhile, young Peter Parker is playing hide and seek, and he's all happy, like, oh, I don't know what's going on. That's horrible. And this was a repeat of what we saw last time. And at first when I saw this in the movie theater, because this is before my spirit was breaking in half, I was like, ugh, they're re-showing that again, trying to make us love the superhero because of his tragic past.
Yes, but we find out that the Parkers are on the run, and they leave Peter Parker with the uncle and aunts, his aunt and uncle, uh, Ben and May.
Yes. So after he leaves them with Ben and Jerry, the couple go to an airplane, and the airplane just has two pilots, and I'm like, oh, this is inevitable, their death. And this is the part of the movie where I would enjoy seeing their death. Like, yeah, evil pilot, who I don't know who that is, you beat them up. And then he beats them up, and they're all beaten. But Richard Parker, the tiger, is still trying to upload whatever he's uploading.
But don't worry, audience. We will find out what that upload is.
Maybe it's a YouTube video.
That's impossible. This is back when Peter Parker was a child. YouTube was first founded in 2005.
I was trying to make a joke. Way to break my spirits even more. So anyway, the fight ensues, and then the plane crashes, and we're left to assume that the parents died in the plane.
Well, they did say that in the first movie.
Yeah, they did. Wait a minute, we haven't even said what this movie is. The name of it.
It's Amazing Spider-Man 2. Don't worry, you already showed the. They already know what it is in the title of the video and the opening sequence.
Yeah, you're right. So, we cut to a close up of the Red Spider, Well, this harkens back to when I first reviewed the Hobbit movie, and the Mandarin thought this was the first part of the movie, even though it was just a trailer, where we saw a close up of Spider Man's spider on his back, and then they zoomed out to show him falling down to the city. And it makes me flash back to that first episode back when I loved being a superhero. And no, a supervillain when I loved being a supervillain. And now, ugh.
Keep going with the review. Come on. We'll get through this together.
Okay. So he's falling down to the city.
And I hoped he fall to his death.
Funny, if I still love being a supervillain.
Keep going.
Okay, so he's in the middle of a car chase, and he's chasing after oh boy, it's one of my good friends, Aleski.
I'll just call him by how he's known in the Ultimate Comics.
Okay, Alex O'Hearn. I'll just say Russian Alex O'Hearn. That's not his original name. That's just the American version of his name. Uh, but but they used his original Russian name. That's really hard to pronounce. So from now on, let's call him Russian Alex O'Hearn. Anyway, this guy is a good jolly friend of mine. Oh, Rhino. He's not Rhino yet. We'll get to that later. The Rhino, he's a good friend of mine. We loved being a supervillains. I say loved because I don't anymore.
I guess I'll have to continue. He's chasing after Alex O'Hearn.
Yes, Alex O'Hearn. Russian Alex O'Hearn.
He's chasing after Russian Alex O'Hearn. He's being chased by the cops because he is currently stealing chemicals from Oscorp.
Yes, Oscorp, that's been established in the first movie as this giant tower where a whole bunch of weird technological and biological you fucked up shit happens there. A whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, they seem to be the main source of all the villains in this Spider-Man continuity.
Yes. It kind of was like that in the original Spider-Man movie too, but not to this extent. So anyway, back to the movie. They show this happy slapstick, happy fun time. Oh, go, super happy fun time. The car chase where Spider-Man is chasing after the bad guys. He's saving people. He's getting together the canisters.
The best he not get infected by the ooze and become a ninja turtle.
Oh, you're cheering me up. Thanks for cheering me up. So anyway, then we cut to Gwen.
I hear some apprehension from you.
Yes. That's a part of the reason why I got into this depression and having this midlife and having this identity crisis. But I'll get to that later. So anyway, Gwen is at the graduation, and she's about to give her speech. But Spider-Man's late. Oh, slapstick! Yay! So during this slapstick car chase, Gwen decides to screw it and go ahead with the speech anyway, and she's recorded, and she says the speech, and it's all inspirational, and it's about how you should achieve your dreams before you die.
Keep going. You have to finish the review. You have to.
Okay. Um, so anyway, Gwen Stacy, or as some people call it, why is Mary Jane blonde? Because people don't read the comic books. Oi! So anyway, Gwen Stacy is continuing with your speech as we see Spider-Man finally apprehend O'Hearn.
Poor O'Hearn. We hardly knew ye.
He's not dead yet. He's still got some more stuff to do. Sure, it's not until I'll get to that later. So anyway, Spider-Man finally gets there. He almost gets shown in his spider mask, and we get a cameo by Stan Lee. And you know everyone loves Stan Lee. I'm kind of neutral on him. Maybe it's because I wasn't created by him. I don't know. I just think he's overrated. So anyway, after that happy Stan Lee cameo, reinforcing the happiness that's about to be crushed, we see, Peter Parker coming in last minute to get his diploma. And everyone's happy, and the families are happy, and Gwen Stacy's family is there, and one of them looks like this creepy smiling guy.
He won't be smiling at the end of the movie.
Don't remind me. Let's keep on going. So anyway, yes, but then we see Spider-Man looking at the family, and then he sees Captain Stacy. Oh no!
And explain to the reviewers why this is so significant.
Because Captain Stacy is dead. Dun dun dun.
It's not a surprise if they saw this the first movie.
True. Yeah, Captain Stacy died at the end of the movie, making Peter promise that his daughter would be kept out of harm's way. And so Spider-Man sees him, and since Stacy is like a ghost or whatever, he's like all ooh, ooh. He isn't he doesn't actually do that. I'm just adding on to it.
No. It's your way of coping with this sudden shift in your way of outlooking on things.
Yeah, that must be it. So anyway, Gwen Stacy, Captain Stacy, not Gwen Stacy, Captain Stacy, the ghost of Captain Stacy is looking at Spider-Man all pissed, and we know why, because Peter Parker promised Captain Stacy before he died that he would leave Gwen alone and keep her from harm's way. But he broke the promise, and he did it in a douchey way at the end of the first movie. You know, of this new franchise. And so his conscience is coming in the form of Ghost Stacy. That's what I'm gonna call him. Ghost Captain Stacy. And so he gets worried, and he tells Gwen about it, and Gwen is, but we, I don't want to use a heightened, weird, girly voice. I'm gonna imitate her out of respect. I'm just gonna say my regular voice because I respect her too much. Because.
Keep going with the review. Just focus on the review.
Okay. Okay. So Parker gets out of. He's like, okay, but then. So we see this bumbling black man, and the bumbling black man was introduced early. He's Max Dillon. He's Electro, another respected person in the supervillain community. that I used to respect.
Just talk about how cool Electro is.
Well, he's going to be cool. Right now, he's this dorky, bumbling black man. I don't know why they made him have to make him look extra bumbling. I mean, they couldn't just have Jamie Foxx look like how he usually is. They had to make him like the black version of Woody Harrelson. He's all bumbling, and you hear this Jewish-esque music in the background whenever he shows up in the scene. So anyway, he was so anyway, he was saved by Spider-Man in the wacky slapstick chase scene, and now he has this guy crush on Spider-Man. He has this whole shrine at his house, and he's talking to Spider-Man if he's really there, and he's got like this really creepy hard on for Spider-Man. Oh my gosh!
Well, isn't Electro gay in the comics?
Well, half gay. He's bisexual, and sure he is. But even if Spider-Man was a chick like Spider-Girl or Spider-Woman, any one of those 11, even if that was so, he'd still be a creepo McCreep-a-lot. He's being all creepy, and he's like, it's my birthday. People should be nice to me, and And so he goes to Oscorp. And Oscorp, as we've seen in the first movie, controls everything. They control everything. And now they control all the electricity. Of course, to make, the plot points later in the movie easier to do. And he gets picked on by Alistair Smythe. He's a more obscure Spider-Man villain, but he's kind of cool in his own right. And he gets picked on, and he has to stay over, and he has to work overtime. Ugh, poor guy. Yeah, and in the movie theater, I was like, hey, he's actually sympathetic. I care for him. He's not being respected. People don't care who he is. He did all these great things, and people steal his ideas. They actually make me love their depiction of this supervillain.
Okay, enough with the praising. I'll get back to Peter Parker.
Okay, so Peter Parker, is about to visit Gwen at this Chinese restaurant, but he still sees the ghost of Captain Stacy, and he's like, "Oh no, what should I do?" And Gwen is like, why won't you come in?" And he's like, "I'm still on the fence about this." And she said, "Well, we already had a scene dedicated to this. How many times are we gonna have scenes about this ordeal?" So she's like, "You know what? I'm tired of all this drama. We're breaking up." Yeah, and it was kind of sad. At first I was like with this movie, oh, screw these superheroes, I hate them. But yeah, as I've shown in other movies, I care about romance, and I care about character development, and they're developing these characters, with their problems, their relationship problems. And some people might consider that boring, but yeah, I don't. It's necessary for tragic movies. And when I say tragic, I mean tragic.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going with the review.
Okay. So anyway, so So Max Dillon has to fix this problem with the wires, and then he falls into this pit of electric eels. And the electric eels bite him, and they electrocute him, and then he turns into this mummy somehow. And moving on from the mummy, we see the emo boy from Chronicle, um, a being here to represent Harry Osborn, who was noticeably absent from the first movie, along with MJ and J. Jonah Jameson and this person and that person. But anyway, back to the movie. He's here now, so deal with it. And he sees his dying father, and I'm like, oh, that's right. They said he was dying in the first one of a disease. And we see Norman Osborn, and a lot of people were disappointed to find out from the trailers that 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 Harry is going to be the Goblin, and thus skipping Norman Osborn being a Goblin. But when they show Norman Osborn being all sick, he actually has a sickness that actually makes him look like a goblin. He's all scaly and greenish, and he's got these big claws.
Yes, they also make him sympathetic by showing that he wants his legacy to live on by handing everything down to his son.
Yes, but they also make him proudly more heroic. Or villainous. No, villainous! Oh man, this movie's getting into my head. They proudly make him more villainous by him not giving a shit about his son. Since he kept his son away in a different country and whatnot. And so he gives his son this whole corporation, and then he dies.
Well, that was quick. They introduce one of the greatest supervillains of all time, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. They introduce him, and then they immediately kill him.
Yes, I didn't like that either. At that point of the movie, I was still, pumped about being a supervillain, and I was like, oh, how dare you kill one of the greatest villains of all time, greatest supervillains of all time, within a few minutes into after his introduction. How dare you? But then they show that that Harry is the new CEO, and we got a bald guy with the pointy nose, and everyone thought that was Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, but nope, it's just some boring character from the comics who who tries to get Oscorp from the Osborns. Donald make him or whatever. That's boring. That's boring. So anyway, Harry doesn't have it. He's like, oh, I hate this company, man, yo. I hate this company. I'm going to have this random chick over there. She's going to control the company, and then I'll control her. That way it still seems like I'm controlling the company. Hey, what's your name, random chick?
Oh, I'm Felicia Hardy, and I'm not going to be important to this franchise. No, no, no.
That means she will be. She's the Black Cat, but not yet.
Yes. So then we see Peter interrupting and paying a visit to Harry Osborn. And at first it's all awkward because they haven't seen each other. And I'm like, good. Make it awkward. Make it painful for this hero and this inevitable villain to be in the same room. But then they ruin it.
Now hold on. Here is one of the first things that made me start rethinking my life. They make these two guys best friends, the best of buddies. They like each other, and they're best friends because at first it's uncomfortable when they reunite after so long of not being friends. But once they they break the ice, they're best buds again. They go around the town, they have fun, and that really made me relate to them. That made me relate to them being best buddies. And and it actually made me sad that they're going to go through different paths and turn out hating each other and causing a big tragedy.
Get back to the movie.
Okay, okay. So so anyway, uh, uh, we cut back to Maxwell Dillon, who is a mummy, and Donald Macon is like, let's have no one know about this. Our stocks will go down if they know about this accident. And my response is, didn't it go down significantly already with the lizard incident? And wasn't that bigger than this incident? Ugh. So anyway, we see mummified Max Dillon, but then he comes out of the mummification as Electro, one of the coolest supervillains out there. Sure, people give him shit because his costume looks weird, but he doesn't. Not weird, just silly. But he doesn't have that flashy, the flashy one where the mask looks like a bunch of bananas. He's in his ultimate form. He's all glowing and blue.
Yes, and he does justifiably represent us supervillains.
Yes, because the comic book version does. This one is still like oh my gosh, I have powers. What the heck? He hasn't realized that he needs to become a supervillain yet. So he's wandering around New York at nighttime, and he's all blue and glowing, and apparently he needs electricity to survive. So he goes to Times Square in New York City, and he gets a wire, and he gets out a wire, and he starts electrocuting him because he needs that juice, man. He needs that juice. You know, like oh my god, I just realized it's like a drug, isn't it?
Oh, yes. But, anyway, then we see the cops come and believe that he is causing danger, even though he is not.
Yes, they show that he's being misunderstood.
Yes, they show why we are supervillains. Because some people are dumbasses, and we have to get rid of those dumbasses.
Well, that's the thing. I saw it as I saw it as I saw it as people just misunderstanding him. This was a horrible misunderstanding, and because of that, he descended into this dark path. And then we see Spider-Man show up, and he's trying to help out Electro. He's not trying to beat him up. He's just trying to help him out. And Electro is like, he's got his powers now, and he's exploding things, and he doesn't mean to. It's an accident. And Spider-Man can't recognize him because he's all blue-faced now. And Electro is like, I don't know what to do. I'm confused. And Spider-Man believes him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the hero understands the supervillain.
Oh, we've seen this before. I don't understand why this movie in particular is making you feel this way when others have attempted before, and it hasn't affected you like that.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, um, you, he Electro is just trying to calm down, but his electric stuff gets on the fritz, and the people are shooting, and Spider-Man is saving people, and then the people, the civilians, are like, yeah, fuck Electro, he's stupid Electro, boo, asshole, and Electro is all sad because at first they all the screens at the Times Square showed him, and he was happy to get the spotlight. And I can understand him. I like getting the spotlight. The, the limelight, here on this YouTube channel.
Even though you have only 6 subscribers?
Yes, even though I only have 6 subscribers, and none of them probably watch this anyway. It used to be whenever I was reminded of that by Osmandius, whenever he reminded me that, I would just be like, nope, I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm proud of showing people how supervillains think of movies. And now I'm like, yeah, this is a show about supervillains' point of views on movies.
Keep going with the review.
Okay, so anyway, back to the movie. He's all pissed because now everyone hates him, and Spider-Man is getting the limelight and getting all the screens on him. But he doesn't mean to. He's just trying to help Electro. But Electro, he's too angry now, and he tries to electrocute everybody, and he flies, and he's exploding, and and he causes all these terrorist things to happen, and Spider-Man hoses him down with water, because of electricity, and then Spider-Man is wearing a fireman helmet, and I'm like, take it off, not because I'm gay or that I don't like fireman helmets. I mean, that's what firemen do. They strip naked. They take their clothes off.
Oh, when telling you to get back to the movie, it's usually because you get into these episodes with deciding whether or not to be a supervillain still. But now you'll just like getting into that profile thing that you usually do. That is progress. That is progress. That is progress.
Yeah, I guess so. So, anyway, now that Electro has been apprehended, we don't have to worry about him for a few half hours, and we get to go back to the Gwen story. Yay! So they show Gwen and Peter still having problems and whatnot, and we show Aunt May going back into nursing, and I'm like, oh, all these subplots, oh my gosh, there's too many to handle.
Yes, it seems to be like the Spider-Man 3, which is what people were afraid this would be like.
Yeah, but I actually like the main story this time about Peter and Gwen and this problem because it's like a legitimate problem, and how are they going to fix this? They love each other, but they can't be with each other because Gwen might die.
Keep going with this review.
Okay. So anyway, Harry Osborn tells Peter that, hey, you take pictures for the Daily Bugle, even though we haven't seen the Jonas Jameson yet, even though they keep teasing him, and Spider-Man's like, or Peter Parker is like, yeah, so I just discovered that my dad, before he died, was trying to cure people with these enhanced spider's venom, and 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 I put two and two together and figured that Spider-Man was created by this. So we need to get I figured that Spider-Man, he must have that venom in his veins. So we need to get him. You need to get his blood since you're connected to him somehow, and clearly not him as everyone else assumes. Even though you take perfect pictures of him, and Parker is like, I can't do it. What if you turn out like Lizard, and 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 Harry is like, I'm dying, doofus. I am dying. The Norman's disease is a hereditary, which means I'm going to die. How dare you? And this prompts Peter to go back to the mystery that was first proposed in the first movie, which was what's the secret that that his parents were hiding, that they died keeping a secret. So Peter gets all angry at all the stressful things that are happening right now. The amount of stress that the audience was probably having because all of these different subplots. And then he finds these coins. And then he figures, and then he asks his Aunt May about what happened to his father.
And of course, Aunt May has to be a bitch and refuse to do it because she thinks that he cares more about his father than he does for his aunt.
Well, that's what I thought too, but you know what? I can understand where she's coming from because that's the closest thing she has to his son, and and uh, and Richard Parker, the tiger, abandoned him. But that's what she thinks anyway. So she tells him that about this. So he tells him about this underground bus, and that makes Peter Parker put another one of those twos and twos together and figure, wait a minute, these coins must have something to do with that bus. So he goes to this secret underground bus that he looked up on the internet, and that was stupid. Like, wait a minute, if it's secret and no one wants to know about it, why is the information on the internet? Anyway, he goes there and he puts the coins into this slot, and at first nothing happens, and he gets angry, and then he punches the wall, and then ouch, popping from the train tracks is the secret bus station.
Yes, it's a secret.
No, not bus station. A secret train car.
Yes, a secret car that holds all of these chemistry sets and all of these things that appear to be what Richard Parker was working on before he skedaddled from New York.
Yeah, and he also we also get to finally find out what Richard Parker was trying to upload. He was trying to upload a video to Peter Parker. And I'm like, oh, deja vu from Iron Man, where we see the superhero's dead father speak to them from beyond the grave via recorded message about something important that happened that they need to know about.
Granted, this type of scene we've seen before, it dates all the way back to the first superhero movie ever, Superman.
Oh right, Super Christopher Reeve's Superman. Oh yeah. I didn't think about that until just now. So anyway, a pre-recorded uh, Richard Parker Tiger is like is like is he's all like the Norman. He's trying to do the stuff. He's trying to do he's trying to do all this science stuff and save the human race with his with these drugs for evil. He's doing it for evil. He's making deals with terrorist organizations. I can't handle it anymore. Which is why I made sure that the scientific spider venom whatever is only compatible with my DNA. And apparently was this was insinuated in the first movie that something was already in Parker's body that made him get affected by it. But it turned out actually it was that only he can be affected by it, and anyone who shares Richard Parker's DNA. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's a good thing they didn't do what the Ang Lee Hulk movie did, and make it so that he already had a chemical in it and that the gamma explosion only activated it. Here, it's just that only he can be affected by it. So, anyway, So, so, so anyway, after he finds this out, he goes to Harry as Spider-Man to explain this to Harry. To explain that only he can be affected by the cure successfully. If it happens to other people, it might not turn out so good. It might be a horrible, hideous abomination.
We already saw that in the second Hulk movie, the Incredible Hulk movie.
Yo, yeah, right. Not abomination. Horrible goblin! Oh, goblin! I just realized you don't see goblin in this movie, do they?
They do not. Maybe in the sequel.
Yeah, you're probably right. So anyway, Harry gets all pissed. Like, how dare you, Spider-Man, you asshole! Screw you, Spider-Man! And that gets Harry all mad. And then Harry finds out through secret files on the Oscorp databanks that Electro, the super powerful electricity blue guy, is being held at Ravencroft by this funny sounding German man. And that German man is Dr. Kafka.
Yes, and from what I understand, Dr. Kafka is of a different gender in the comic books.
Yes, in the comic books, Dr. Kafka has a boobie and vagina, whereas here he has a lack of boobs and a penis. But so anyway, they hold a Electro there at Ravencroft. And for people who don't know what Ravencroft is it's kind of like it's basically Marvel's version of Arkham Asylum, except less cool. And it's not this, and it doesn't look like a scary ass dungeon, which kind of makes sense when you think about it. You probably shouldn't make an asylum for the criminally insane look like a dungeon. So anyway, so Harry decides to break uh, Electro out of the Institute by tasing him, and this tase gives Electro a charge, and Harry is like, I need you, Electro," and Electro is like, "Oh, he needs me," and I'm like, "Yeah, good for Electro. He has a new bromance now. He's no longer bromantic about Spider-Man. He's bromantic about Harry." So he electrocutes all the guard people, and they go to Oscorp, where where they uh, where they get all the information about Green Goblin's super uh, about how to get the venom to cure Harry Osborn of his goblin disease, and so he takes Donald Macon with him to the secret lair inside of Oscorp, a secret lair where they hold that serum, that antidote, and so Electro, so Harry lets Electro do his own thing. And what Electro wants to do is take away power from the whole city. So he goes through an outlet, and he's courteous enough to close the outlet.
Yes, just because we are supervillains does not mean that we have to not have manners.
Agreed. If I was still a supervillain,
Don't say that. Do not say that. Just keep going with the review. We're almost to the climax. In fact, we're almost there.
Yes. So Spider-Man, he decides that you know what, all this stressful stuff that I'm doing right now, it's because I don't have Gwen in my life. So he goes to Gwen, and Gwen is about to have this interview because she's about to go to this fancy ass college, the Oxford or one of those sister colleges or whatever.
You did not go to any of those fancy sister colleges, or did you?
Hey, neither did you, buddy. And if you went to one of those fancy sister colleges, you know those fancy colleges that compete with each other that have the fancy names like Oxford and and Yale and Harvard and whatever. You fuck you in the fancy persnickety pretentious ass. Also, don't fire me because you probably make more money than me. Uh, so anyway, um, so anyway, so Peter's like, you know what? I should let go of her. I should. I should let her go to Harvard in Britain, where she'll be safe from these supervillains. You'll say that like you have completely lost faith in being a supervillain. Yeah,
You say that like you lost faith in being a supervillain.
yeah, I know. It's just that what happens to I'll say it later. So then, but then Peter decides to change his mind, and he writes on the New York bridge, wherever that is. I don't know. He writes a big "I love you," a huge big writing "I love you" with his webs, and people were like who is he saying I love to? And I bet all the girls were like, he's saying it to me. No, he's saying it to me. No, he's saying it to me. And even a couple gay guys are probably there too, like, no, he's saying it to me. So anyway, Gwen. So Gwen knows it's obviously her, duh. Um, so Spider-Man takes her up to the bridge and says, "You know what? I'm gonna go with you to Britain. I'm gonna go with you. We're gonna have a good time there. I've decided to hell with with your ghost dad, not Bill Cosby, Gwen's ghost dad, Ghost Captain Stacy. I love you, and we shouldn't be apart." And that really tugged at my heartstrings because it's true. If they truly do love each other, then it should be worth it. It should be worth all this threatening stuff that's happening to them. So so finally they are together, and then the second that happens, boom, the whole city goes through a blackout. Everything gets turned off.
Yes, and we see how it affects everybody.
Yeah, airplanes can't navigate correctly. The hospital can't do their hospital thing. And you know, Aunt May is there because we have to have that subplot on top of all these other ones. My gosh, no wonder they cut Flash Thompson out of this. I mean, sure, he still could have had like just one scene to remind him, like, hey, I'm Flash, I'm still here, I might be Venom, or maybe not, I don't know. So all of this is happening because Electro is trying to tear down is trying to suck the power out of these huge big electrical tower things at the grid. Notice my exclamations I'm using with my fingers that you cannot see, therefore you cannot notice it, therefore what I'm saying makes no sense. So anyway, so he so she so Spider-Man keeps Gwen from going into danger by sticking her hand to a car with his webbing to keep her out of harm's way. If only it worked. Okay, keep going.
keep going with the review.
Okay. So Spider-Man goes over to Electro, and they have this big electric battle. Is Spider-Man is being electrocuted by Electro, but but Mary Jane, not Mary Jane. I sound like one of those fanboys who claim to be a fanboy but aren't. That mistake Mary Jane for Gwen. I mean Gwen, but Gwen was able earlier to like give a negative charge. I don't know. It was like bull science. Duh, 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 duh. Bull science. So now apparently Spider-Man's electric proof, and he's fighting Electro, and they're fighting, and back at Oscorp, back at Oscorp, uh, Harry manages to get Donald make him down to this underground layer where we see in a corner, there's Dr. Octopus's tentacles. He's another good friend of mine. That would have been a pleasant surprise if they hadn't have shown it in the damn trailers. Ugh. So anyway, um, so anyway, Donald Maycomb injects this special serum made by the spider venom uh, into Harry Osborn's DNA, the bloodstream, so he can be cured of the disease. But it backfires. Yeah, I mean, sure, it cures the disease, but it turns him into a monster. He's in the middle of transforming. Donald Maycomb escapes from this movie. He runs away. Maybe we'll see him in the next one. Maybe not. Maybe they'll ignore him like they did with that Indian guy in the previous movie. I don't know. But the point is that now Harry gets to be the Green Goblin. He gets on the suit, which somehow makes him cope with the pain of his new look. And they imply, oh man, Harry is going to look ugly. He's going to be big and ugly and badass. But we have to wait later because we still got to defeat Electro. So Gwen shows up during the Electro battle, and Peter understandably is like, what are you doing here? You could be hurt or killed.
Do you want me to take it from here?
Yeah, to an extent. Go ahead, buddy.
So, as Spider-Man continues battling Electro, he realizes that Gwen has to do some more of that bull science. So Gwen goes and like overcharges the electric tower things or whatever. Anyway, this apparently overcharges Electro or something. I don't know. I don't know all this bull science. But the point is that once this happens, Electro explodes.
Yeah. Now, whenever a supervillain dies in the climax of a superhero movie, I'm usually like, no! I like that supervillain. Fuck this movie. But this time, I was like, you know what? Electro had it coming. I mean, he did cause all these problems for these people. Once Electro exploded and was no longer alive, they got the power to the airplanes, and the airplanes didn't have to hit each other. And that was kind of happy, and the hospital got the power back, and Aunt May got to continue being a bossy boss. Good on them.
That is crazy talk. See, this is what I mean. This movie, I don't understand. Everything you are describing about this movie has been done before, making you love the hero and hate the villain.
But that's the thing. I don't hate the villains. I'm just ashamed of them. I don't hate villains now. I just feel ashamed that we're these monsters who do these things. And I understand that, yeah, we do these things because it's fun, but What if it's just because we think it's fun? Because we think it's good? We don't realize that we're harming other people.
I am fully aware of that.
I was too, but I feel like this movie opened my eyes somehow.
Oh, really? That's what how you felt by this point when you watched the movie?
Yes, but I was on the fence though. But then I was just feeling that a little bit. But then, but then, oh man, there was a straw that broke this camel's back. So anyway, after the climax of the movie, we get a second climax where Green Goblin comes in. Harry Osborn, by the way, not Norman because he's dead and all, and Harry Osborn has been transformed into this hideous being, and he looks just like from earlier, just with some makeup to make him look just a little bit green and scalier.
Well, that was disappointing. He barely changed at all. I thought he would be like the ultimate Green Goblin. You know, where he looks like the Hulk, except goblin-y, with the pointy ears and horns and whatnot.
Yeah, I was expecting that too, but instead they just went for, oh, he looks kind of like a goblin, kind of, sort of. Here's some CGI on his face. So so he sees Gwen right next to Spider-Man there, and he's like, and he does another one of those puts two and two together, and he's like, you're Peter Parker. You're Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there have been people in other superhero properties that have been much dumber than that.
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, there's been instances in other superhero things, like with Lois Lane, where they see something like this happen, where it's obvious that the person they know is a superhero all along, but they still being stupid and ignorant. But Norman Osborn, on the other hand, he actually puts this stuff together. He puts two and two together. He when he found out that the Spider-Man that his father tried to create, he created an antidote with spiders. He figured, oh, that's how Spider-Man must have his powers, and it's also how he came to this conclusion. Oh, look, Spider-Man's right next to Mary Jane. Wait a minute, Gwen. Spider-Man's right next to Gwen. Spider-Man also gets his picture taken perfectly by Peter Parker. Oh my God, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. He is way smarter than most of the cast of Smallville.
I I think that more people would say that than I think that more people would say that than just you, my friend.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably been said 100 times already. But anyway, so he grabs Gwen Stacy and takes him to this big building. Okay, now here's the thing. I knew going in that, yeah, Gwen Stacy's probably going to die. I, I,
Keep going.
yes, I had the feeling she would. I mean, they got the. I mean, look at the facts. They start the movie out with her talking about how important it is to be alive in the graduation speech. There were set photos of her in the same exact outfit that she wore when she died. What else? In the comic books, she's known as that chick that Spider-Man loved, but then got killed. That's what she's known for. What else? Oh, that's right. She's being kidnapped by a Green Goblin. Granted, it's not the Green Goblin who killed her in the comic books, but still, it's a Green Goblin.
Well, at least if they make a retcon and claim that she had sex with a goblin, at least it will be a more appropriate goblin this time around.
Yeah, you're probably right. it's less creepy if she sleeps with Dan DeHaan than Chris Cooper. so anyway, um, they show Spider-Man chasing the Green Goblin, who has Gwen Stacy, to this building, and inside this abandoned building that has all these gears and clocks, and Spider-Man manages to take Gwen from the Goblin and place her on this nice safe gear. But wait a minute, this she's on a gear. She's in more danger, idiot. So he's fighting the Goblin, and then the stress from all this explodes the gears, and then Gwen is falling down the building, and like they're in this large shaft. So the ground is like many stories down. So if Spider-Man doesn't save her, she's gonna die if she doesn't catch her in time.
Do, do you want me to, do you want me to continue this review? It seems like it's very hard for you. It seems like it's going to be very hard for you to continue with what is about to be covered in this review.
Yeah, go on. Say it.
Okay. So so as Gwen is falling down the shaft, Spider-Man manages to hit the Green Goblin. The Goblin goes down, unfortunately, and gets knocked unconscious.
Serves him right.
Oh, there it is again. There it is again. You are doubting your supervillain lifestyle.
Yeah, I know. Just keep going.
So now Spider-Man has to catch Mary Jane.
Gwen!
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. It's just that, you know what? Screw the people who confuse them. It's very difficult.
No, they have different personalities. Gwen is the nice girl, and is the nice good girl, and MJ is the girl next door. The original Sam Raimi movies fucked that up, but you go on with the story.
Okay. So she's about to fall to her death, and Spider-Man is about to catch him with his web.
And the little web, when he shoots the web out of his web shooter, the web looks like a little hand. It looks like a little hand. It's shaped like a hand, and it has fingers and everything, and it's like going for it. Gwen, and I'm like, oh Gwen, oh take the little web hand, take the little web hand.
And he does manage to catch Mary Jane, but it's right when she's at the ground. And so, even though he keeps her torso from hitting the ground, her head takes in all the force of the gravity, and it is it takes all the force her head. and Spider-Man goes down to see if she is okay. He takes off his mask because, of course, the actor needs to get paid for his face being in the movie. And he looks at Mary Jane to see if she is still alive and shaking her a little bit, and we see her eyebrows move a little bit.
But that's to show that there's still a little bit of brain, like the trauma hasn't completely gone in yet. She's still a little bit alive.
Yes, but then we see but then we see her nose bleed.
Yeah, but wait a minute. I get nosebleeds all the time. Oh, that's all. It's just a nosebleed. Wait a minute. Why did it just cut to a funeral? Oh no!
Yes. Gwen Stacy has died. Just like in the comics, so this supplies none of the people who read the comics.
Yeah, and even though I saw it coming a mile away, Why did it still affect me? Oh my gosh! This nice girl who was talented, who was about to go to Yale or Harvard or one of those fancy ass colleges, whatever. She was about to go to a fancy college. She had her whole life ahead of her. She was about to do great things with her mind. She had so much potential to do great things because she was intelligent and cool and funny and Peter loved her and she loved him and whatnot. And now she's dead. She is dead. She's dead now. Her brain was crushed. She's all dead now. She's a corpse. She's been taken. She's no longer with us. She's dead. 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 And do you know why?
Because Spider-Man didn't save her in time?
Well, yeah, there's that. But also because of supervillains! Because of supervillains! Because of supervillains like you, and me, and Blob, and the Mandarin, and Asmandius, and Amanda Waller, and Red Mist, and Bruce Banner's crazy dad, and General Zod, and Silver Samurai, and
Attention, people who are watching this review. The host of the show, Gravitalk, has just suffered a complete meltdown. He is no longer mentally stable to continue with this review, which is why I will continue for the most part. Do you approve of this decision, Graviton? I'll take that as a yes. So we see Peter Parker visit Gwen's grave. It seems like for a very long time, whether it's snowing or it's the fall or the summer, just over and over again for a long period of time.
Yeah, either that or maybe it was just one day and you screwed up weather.
Oh, so now you are thinking of it lightly.
No, it's just that it naturally comes to me to add snarky remarks and jokes about the scenes in movies.
Oh, okay. So, anyway, it has been 5 months.
Oh, so not one day. Never mind, you just debunked my joke.
Okay. So, we see the man in the trench coat and hat from the first movie.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I kept wondering who that guy was. I mean, there were a whole bunch of guesses, but this movie proved that those were different people. Like, it wasn't Green Goblin because Goblin's dead and he's Gary Cooper, and it wasn't Electro because Electro is black. So who is this guy?
I don't know who he is, but he apparently is good friends with Harry.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like at the end of every one of these Spider-Man movies now, the main villain all of a sudden knows about this shadowy man with the hat.
Yes. And he tells Harry that he's assembling a team and he's using different weapons and they will take over the New York City.
Yes, and Harry says they want to keep the team small. And you know what that means. The Frightful Four! Nah, just kidding, it's the Sinister Six. It was inevitable also for this franchise.
Yes. And we find out from this Siri lady.
Oh, you mean female Arnim Zola?
Yes, from the female on Zola. That lady who's appeared only on screen.
That's why I called her female Arnim Zola.
Yeah, whatever. We find out from her that this man is called Mr. Fierce.
Still have no idea who he is.
Well, according to the credits in the mid-roll, They credit him as Gustav Fierce.
Really? Who's that guy?
He is a character in a trilogy of novels that depicted the Sinister Six as protagonists and explained their history. And Gustav Fierce was the man who funded their getting together.
Oh, I see. So they're trying to do it that way. I see. Okay. Whatever. It's not that I'll watch the Sinister Six movie anyway, because I'm on the fence about being a supervillain now, and I don't want to support people that make supervillains look cool.
But I heard that, unfortunately, I heard that the upcoming Sinister Six movie is supposed to be a redemption story, which implies that the Sinister Six are going to become, heroes.
Oh, well, that's kind of happy. I'm kind of happy about that. Good on them for becoming good guys, even though they caused the death of Gwen and Stacy.
Oh, anyway, they reveal that their first volunteer is the man we saw at the beginning of the movie. It's it's Alex O'Hearn, or Russian Alex O'Hearn, since we can't exactly say his actual Russian name.
Yeah, the Paul Giamatti guy. You know, at the beginning of the movie, I was looking forward to him becoming the Rhino, but now, after seeing the death of Gwen Stacy, I was depressed. I was like, oh, whatever, fine, he's the Rhino now, whatever.
And instead of the traditional Rhino costume, he has a mech suit for some reason.
Yeah, and he's all excited about being a supervillain now. He's all like, I am the Rhino! And he's happy, and it's like, wow, I remember when I was happy about being a supervillain for the first time. Now I'm sad.
Yes, and he is about to destroy a kid. And as he is about to rightfully punch the living shit out of this stupid ass kid who has no business getting in front of a giant mech suit being controlled by a flicking Russian mob member, Spider-Man has to come.
Yes, Spider-Man has to come. Not that kind of come. I mean, boo, let's backtrack. Aunt May tells Peter Parker that even though that that Spider-Man shouldn't stop being a hero. And of course, this kind of implies that, oh, Aunt May knows, I guess, maybe, or maybe she doesn't, I don't know. So then they repeat this weird thing, they do this weird thing where they repeat something from the first movie.
Oh, yes. In the first movie, when Uncle Ben dies, Peter hears a recorded message on his phone of the last thing that Uncle Ben said to him. And that inspires Peter to continue being Spider-Man. And they do the exact same thing here.
Yeah, like at the beginning of the movie, she says her graduation speech, and because of that speech, the Peter sees a recording of it, and that inspires him to be Spider-Man again. So it's exactly like the end of the first movie. Oh, he's sad because a loved one died. Oh, wait a minute, here's a recording of what they said before they died, and it's inspirational. I'll keep being Spider-Man. Ugh. Yeah.
See, you criticized that, so maybe there's still hope for you.
No, because the message that wasn't told from that was actually good. Spider-Man wants to keep being Spider-Man in honor of Gwen, even though she's dead. He's going to keep Spider-Man for her because she would have wanted him to keep being Spider-Man. That's a good reason to be a superhero, instead of being a supervillain like us.
Oh, so then we see Spider-Man saving the kid, even though Rhino is there, who has the perfect opportunity to shoot both of them and kill them both, but he just stands there and lets Spider-Man save the kid and take the kid from harm's way so he can defeat Rhino. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then we get a freeze frame of Spider-Man as he's about to fight Rhino, and it's like the end of one of those Rocky movies. It's the Eye of the Tiger named Richard Parker. Da 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 da. The Eye of the Tiger. And then we get close-ups of the Sinister Six weapons,
which is basically the credit sequence of the Avengers, but in this credit sequence, it's of the Sinister Six weapons instead of the Avengers weapons. Total lack of originality, guys.
Yeah, and they accompany it with this like upbeat rap that's all funky and stuff. Like, yeah, go Spider-Man, go Spider-Man, go, go Spider-Man, go Spider-Man, go. Well, it's not exactly like this, but since the Sinister Six is being showing up, maybe it's for the Sinister Six. Go Sinister Six, go Sinister Six, go, go Sinister Six, go Sinister Six, go. And 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 this actually cheered me up. It made me feel like twerking. It was so like a good beat, and it was all rappy and funky, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm twerking. Yeah, I'm twerking. Shouldn't I be sad right now? I forgot what I was sad. Yeah, I'm twerking. I'm twerking. Why is there static shock? Why is there static now? Why are the credits over? Is there going to be an after credit scene like there is in most superhero movies? What are the X stores showing up in this Spider-Man movie doing?
Yes, out of nowhere comes the X stores, and then we see a scene from the upcoming X-Men movie.
I lost my shit, and so did the audience. What the hell just happened? I thought, now I covered this in the previous superhero movie, that more that 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 Marvel only owns the stuff that aren't Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, or Neymar apparently, or X-Men. So and and Fox only owns the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four, and Sony only owns the rights to Spider-Man. So what are the X-Men doing in the Spider-Man movie? Are they crossing over? Oh my gosh, they're crossing over, even though people want an Avengers crossover more. What the fuck?
Actually, it turns out not to be that at all. You see, the director, what's his name? Something Webb?
Mark Webb.
Mark Webb. Oh my gosh. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a weird coincidence. I got over that when he was announced for the first movie.
Okay. Well, it turns out that Fox was going to make, a movie with him directing. But then Mark Webb had to step out in order to make Spider-Man 2. And Fox only agreed to this with the one condition that his Spider-Man movie would have free advertising for it for their upcoming X-Men movie.
Oh, that's a disappointment. And so we see this really quick X-Men ad where the scene is of Mystique recruiting Toad and Storm's nephew and this man with tattoos and Havoc at this military place. And of course, apparently they didn't have time to put the whole scene in this little spot. Like apparently they were only given a little bit of time to do this, so it's hastily edited.
Yes, a lot of it was edited out just to appease for the little time they had for this spot to put this sneak peek.
Yes, and because it was hastily edited, we just get like quick glimpses and it's really fast and confusing. Like, oh, I'm Mystique. Oh, Havoc, come with me. Oh, Toad, come with me too. We're going to beat these guys up. Now let's go. I'm the Screw Magneto. I go alone. The X-Men, it comes out later this month. Hooray!
Yes, it was very hastily done.
Yeah. And at this point, I was all cheered up. I mean, I got my twerk on. I heard this upbeat rap. I twerked in the movie theater. I'm excited for X-Men now, the movie coming up, so I could rip that apart. But you see, at this point, I forgot all about, changing my lifestyle to not be a supervillain anymore.
Good, good.
But then I was instantly reminded of my depression as soon as the next song came. It was this sad song, and I was like, why is there a sad song? Oh, that's right, a young girl just died.
You mean Peaches get off?
Oh my god, you sick fuck! Oh, how dare you mention her? That's not funny. Great. Now people are going to go on to Google and Google that name and get even more depressed than they just were. Like, oh, I was depressed just when this young girl died in this movie. Now I'm even more depressed that this young girl died in real life.
Well, I guess the parallels are there.
And now people are thinking, are you talking about the actor who plays Gwen Stacy? No, I'm talking about some girl that just died recently. And now people are going to hate me for making light of the really recent death. I hope you're happy.
Hey, you used to be proud of being a supervillain, and now you are judging my morality? You knew for a fact that supervillains have a lack of morality. You are no longer a supervillain if you truly believe this and are not able to change your mind.
I'm afraid you're right. It's just that this new outlook I have on not being a supervillain, it changed me, man. I can't get rid of it. I'm ashamed of being a supervillain.
Then maybe you are not cut out for being a supervillain. Maybe you have to take a breather.
You're right. I should take a break from being a supervillain, and I should put this show on hold.
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, this is just the beginning of a whole slew of films this summer.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This movie is marks the beginning of the summer movie season, which means there's going to be a whole lot more movies than usual. I mean, I started this in December, when there's not that many movies, and now we're about to get a whole big pile of movies to all the way to August. I can't handle that under this state of being I'm under.
Yes, I see that. Perhaps, perhaps the show must go on, but with me.
You be willing to do that?
Yes, I will take over host of this show while you are gone, deciding whether or not you should truly be a villain.
Yes, I need to go on a self-discovery and find out if I should be a villain or not truly. I should seek enlightenment.
Yes, yes, you should.
Okay, I'll do that.
But what are we going? But wait a minute, you're not done with the movie. You still haven't given your overall thoughts.
Okay, I'll do that now. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 has its flaws as we have listed. They repeat things from the first movie, and they do some weird character things. And there's a whole bunch of subplots that you have to keep track of. But it is touching when it needs to be touching, and it does tug at your heartstrings. when it tries to, maybe too hard.
Not for people who have a thicker shell.
Yes, we've seen things like this before, but for some reason this made me rethink my life as a supervillain. So for that, I'd say that this movie did its job with the superhero propaganda thing.
Don't say that! That is blasphemy!
But it's true. I mean, it doesn't make me a superhero or anything, but it does make me rethink of my life as a supervillain. So with that, let's go to overall ratings.
But you haven't had my opinion.
Okay, what did you think?
Yes, the movie is too flawed. It is clearly trying to make a mad dash at a Sinister Six movie by cramming in as many villains as they can and as many storylines as they can because they just want to get it over with. Now, how do you rate the movie?
Okay. Blednovsky,
Yes?
would you prefer, or do you think that the people watching at home on their computers, do you think that they would prefer to watch this movie or be turned into a blue mummy?
I would say that they would prefer to be turned into a blue mummy. That way, if the Spider-Man franchise inevitably gets rebooted once again, there is a 50-50 shot that it will be a better movie than this.
Okay, here's my input. I think they would prefer watching this movie over being turned into a blue mummy because it would change your outlook on whether or not you should be a supervillain.
And to the people who want a supervillain to begin with,
Oh, they will be moved, and they will also be happy at first, but then sad and happy again. And if they don't think so, well, that's my opinion. Okay, now if you excuse me, I need to go now. I need to go and rethink my life.
very well then, rethink your life. And be sure to confirm to me whether or not you want to become a supervillain continuously instead of being on the fence, okay? Shit or get off the pot. You're either a supervillain or you're not.
Okay, I'll make that decision after I go on a long walkabout. Goodbye. Goodbye. Don't play that uplifting theme song that we usually play. Play something sad to go along with this sad time. Okay, bye. I'm gonna let myself out. You know how to leave the studio, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Bye.
Wait a minute. I lied to him. I don't know how to get in the studio. Hello? Is anyone there? How do I get out? I'm trapped. I guess I'll have to find food and scavenge. Then eat one of these production guys. Oh, there's a refrigerator right there. Nah, I'm gonna be good. What's the next movie? Oh, it's about that giant lizard. Who should I get that will fit a movie about a giant monster? Let me see here. Let me look through this list of villains that he has. All of these decisions suck. I guess I'll have to choose myself. I choose this individual.